Bonjour mesdames et messieurs, in this episode I show you how to make amazing panoramas. Bonjour mesdames et messieurs and welcome to episode 73 of my photography, Lightroom and Photoshop tips. Mon nom is Serge Ramelli, I'm a French photographer living in Paris and welcome to my show. In last episode I showed you how to back up your photos and videos in the cloud using Red Disk. This is something that's worked really well for me and I wanted to share it because I get a lot of questions on it. So check it out if you need some backup solutions. This week, I'm going to show you one of my favorite photos ever. And not only that, I'm going to give you the 8 raw files to be able to create that photo. This is the photo. It's a panorama taken in the Mont Saint Michel, an amazing place in Bretagne in Paris. And the small man you can see here on the left is Scott Kelby. I was with him doing that photo and we got really scared because we had a lot of troubles with the quicksand and so we couldn't put a tripod down. Anyway, you'll get the whole story watching the video. So here it comes, how to make great panoramas using Lightroom, using Photoshop, and the story behind that photo. 2 quick things before we get started. I have a new Lightroom preset package coming out. It's called Volume 3 that I did with my friend Kelvin Pimon. Let me just show you a few of them. It's really, we studied some of the famous movies around and tried to create in Lightroom the preset that goes with it. So for example, this is the original photo and this preset is an old tilt shift type of preset. This one is the Wild West, for example, on the photo of Paris. This one is Gladiator. This one is called American Night. This one is called, duotone called Salmon Blue. You will see there's a whole bunch of duotones there, which are very nice. This one, for example, is The Matrix. Okay, here's another photo from Venice. That's the original photo. This one is the metallic look. I kind of love this one. This one is called the Tan Black. It's also a duotone. This one is a special effect called Warhol, like based on Andy Warhol. And this last one is Mad Max. So lots of presets and I really love them, especially the best I ever had. They really give a good starting point to some of your photos and can help you get some inspiration. If you want for free the 9 raw files created and used to create that photo, all you have to do is go over to my website, click on News, sign up, you come to this page and you put in your email address so I can send you my newsletters every week, and in exchange you will get to a page where you can get these raw files for free. Voila, let's get started with the tutorial. Alright, mesdames et messieurs, so I want to tell you a little story of one of my favorite photo ever, and yeah, just an amazing experience. My friend Scott Kelby called me up and says, I'm coming to France on holidays, would you like to go see the Mont Saint Michel with me? And I was very ashamed because I never went to the Mont Saint Michel and I know it's a very famous place. And I said, of course. So he flew in from Florida and I picked him up in the airport and we drove straight away down to the Mont Saint Michel. And the funny thing is that the whole way driving down to the Mont Saint Michel, it was just raining and it was just a white sky. I mean, white sky for me is just the worst of all. Blue sky is not good because there's no drama. White sky is not good because there's nothing happening. Anyway, so after 4 hours of drive and half an hour of walking, here we are in front of the famous Mont Saint Michel. So what is the Mont Saint Michel? Well, it's a sort of a little island where the sea just goes away and comes back like 2-3 times per day. And the sea, and it goes very fast. Like sometimes it goes, the sea, when the sea comes back, it's the speed of a horse racing. So it's a very dangerous place because you can get caught up by the water coming up very fast. And also all around the island it's quicksands. Everywhere is quicksands. So anyway, we come to the Mont Saint Michel and we have this amazing light, you know, like just the rain stops and you know, like there is a god of photography, you know, the force was with us. All of a sudden, you know, we just get this amazing sky. And I'm like, you know, wow, this is amazing. You know, he flew from Florida. We drove all the way and, you know, we got really lucky. So anyways, we decided to walk by the quicksands because we wanted to, you know, the sea was out and we wanted to get a whole picture of the island. And this is what we did. The only problem is that, and I'm not kidding, it's real quicksand. In some of the area, you just could not stand more than, you know, 20 seconds because you would start going in. It's not like quicksand where you go really fast in, but you really have to make sure. It was like walking on jelly sometimes. It was pretty crazy. But as it was very unstable, I could not put the tripod down. So I did something. That's my first tip. What I did is I put my camera at 100 of a second at f4.5 because I figured the island being far away at f4.5, I would still get a sharp shot. So I tried to take a shot and I thought the shot was a bit dark, but I know that if I shoot it raw, I should be able to get everything back in Lightroom. And I wanted to get 100 of a second because I was on a very unstable floor, so I could do a pano. And I wanted the pano, and I wanted every single photo of that pano to be at 100 of a second at 4.5 to be able to do what I'm going to show you right now. What I'm going to show you right now is I'm going to take a photo in the middle of the panorama and I'm going to retouch it. And because I shot everything manual with the same f-stop and with the same speed, I will be able to sync that retouch on all the photos. So instead of having to retouch 8 photos, I only have to retouch 1. So not only I do that because I'm lazy, but also this is a way to get better result at doing panoramas. So let's go. I'm going to open up the shadows, and here you can see the island. Now watch out, a warning, this photo is going to be like fantasy-like. I want to, you know, I mean, the place was amazing. Honestly, the sunset that was there was really nice. The sky was just crazy. So I had an emotion when I was there with Scott, and I want to, you know, share that emotion. So it's going to be saturated. It's going to be a bit crazy. I just warn you a little bit. So I open up the shadows and I break down the highlights. Okay, that's my first two things. Then I press down the Alt key and go with the white on the right until I see some whites, and I back it down a little bit. That's going to give me my white point. And I'm going to do the same thing with the black, except I'm going to go further. I'm holding down the Alt key and I'm backing it down just a little bit until we see a little bit of black. Yeah, about that much. Okay, I'm going to boost slightly the overall exposure and I'm going to bring some clarity into it. All right, now I don't like the white balance, and I think the white balance is going to make everything for that photo. This was like right before sunset, so I'm going to go and I'm going to put shade. Shade is, yeah, it's basically is what you get on sunset. It's a bit of a warmer white balance, but I'm going to cheat. I'm going to make it artistic warmer. I'm going to add a lot of magenta and a lot of yellows into it. Yeah, something like that. Okay, and it's a matter of finding the right colors and maybe add a bit of vibrance. Yeah, I want. There was really like red in the sky, and I want that. Okay, then I'm gonna add a graded filter here. The way the graded filter works is first you press the Option key to reset everything. That when you press the Alt key, the reset, the effect word becomes reset. You click on it, everything goes down to 0. Then I'm gonna bring the exposure down. And I'm going to make a little gradient. Now, I'll give you a little trick. The gradient, what you can do is make it big. And then you take this middle thing and you just lift it up. It's going to get a more natural gradient. Now, on that gradient, I'm not only going to lower the exposure, but I'm going to add a bit of red. Yeah, I want to add a bit of magenta. And maybe a bit of yellow. Yeah, a little bit of yellow and red. And I'm going to make this actually a bit lower. Yeah, I want this to be extraordinary. It was an extraordinary moment. I want an extraordinary photo. Yeah, something like that. That's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. And voila. Let me check if there is some noise. I'm going to look on the church. I believe it's going to be like a bit grainy. Yeah, there is a bit of, you know, chromatic aberration. The photo is not super sharp, but it's not bad because 100 of us, you know, it's not bad. It's not bad. So we're going to deal with that. So I'm going to take a bit of noise out, but very little, 20. And you know, I have this formula. I take 100 and I take off whatever luminance I've put. That's my basic sharpening. Then I do some more sharpening when I print, but that's just my basic sharpening. So 100 minus 20 of noise makes 80. Okay, now we've got a better, more crisp photo. One thing that's very important is to remove the chromatic aberration. Let's see if it does something. look around the church. You see how there's a little blue line here? I don't know if you can tell on the video, but it's gone. Okay, now the profiles corrections. Let's maybe add that. That's cool. All right, so that's most of it. Actually, I think it's too bright now, so I'm just not gonna increase the exposure. I want to make it dramatic. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so now I did all that. Let me check. I'm just gonna go into camera calibration totally at the end to see what camera landscape would do to this photo. It's not bad. It's not bad what camera landscape would do to this photo. I actually like it. So now I'm going to press Command A or Control A if I'm on Windows. So everything is selected and I'm on a retouch photo. And all I've done on this photo, mesdames et messieurs, if I click on Sync and on Check All and Synchronize, pa-bam, all the photos are retouched and all the photos are properly retouched. Why? Because they were all with the same exposure. And just a little note, the little man you see walking here is the great and one and only Scott Kelby. So you have Scott Kelby alone in front of Mont Saint Michel. Actually, there's a couple of more people there. And it's an amazing, I mean, it's an amazing place. You know, you would think this was come out of a movie or something. Okay, now my gradient is maybe a bit too much, but I kind of like it. It's fine. I can correct it. I want really this to be a dramatic photo. Okay, once I've done that, I just have to right-click, edit, merge to Panorama in Photoshop. This is going to open the beautiful function called Photo Merge in Photoshop. So here it comes, and all I do is click on OK. And now it's going to work at certain times. You're talking 8 photos. Each one is 21 mega. So it's a huge panorama, and Photoshop is going to have to do quite some work. So it's working, it's working, it's working. I'm going to put on pause until it's all merged together. And voila. So this is the that's the photo which has been merged. Now this one, fortunately, has been very well merged. There's no distortion really to be handled. But look how this place is amazing. And this place actually exists. It's the Mont Saint Michel. When I see that photo, I said, you know, was I on Mars or something? It just doesn't look like from planet Earth, but it is. Okay, so now you see all these layers here. I have to merge them. So I go to Layer, Merge Visible. And that's going to merge all the layers into one. Okay, then I'm going to take the crop tool, which is here. And I'm going to crop here. Now, I like the whole idea of having just a little bit of sun and a lot of sky. So I'm going to crop here, and I still want to keep Scott Kelby in the photo because it gives a perspective, you know, of human size compared to the size of that island. You know, it's not huge, but it's big. You know, it's an island. You know. Okay, so now we are missing this spot in the sky. I want to show you there's many ways to deal with that. I'll show you one that I like. I take the Magic Wand tool and I make sure that continuous is not checked. And I click. What that does is that it's going to select all this checker mark. This checker mark means it's like the pixels are transparent. There is nothing there. Oh, and then I'm just going to go. Now you see here I have a selection. What happens is that I need to extend that selection before I do what I'm going to do next. Otherwise, you're gonna see that I did what I'm just about to do. So you will understand in a sec. I'm going to take my selection. I'm going to go to Modify, and I'm going to expand it of about 20 pixels. So that selection is going to get a bit bigger. Okay, and then I'm going to go to Edit, Fill, Content Aware. Content Aware is this new technology that came out with CS5, where it's going to like analyze all the pixels which is around it and sort of try to replace it. And in this case, it should work pretty fine because you see there is a lot of sky and very little of transparency. So it should do some fine job, I would say. Now it's taking a lot of time, and you know it's taking a lot of time because it looks small on my screen, but this is from what I believe. Oh, here we are. So Command D to undo the selection, and look at this, perfect job. It's like the sky was there. I love it. Okay, and check this out. If I go to image size, 12,776 pixels. My God, you can make prints like I don't know, 3 meters long, which is in inches probably like 12 feet long or something. and you won't believe the quantity of details that you have. And I'm actually going to give you the raw files for this, so you can actually even print it for your home. But please only use it on a personal use. Don't, you know, go to a gallery and set and say that you took the photo. I hope this invites you to go and visit the Mont Saint Michel, because it's an amazing place. Okay, let me take the zoom. Let me show you something. If I zoom at 100%, just look how crazy details we have, because 12,000 pixels is a lot, you know. I can almost say hello to Scott Kelby here, you know, who is right there. And look at the trees, you know, look at the details that I get, you know. And I have actually done some prints on that, not of this photo, but with 12,000 pixels, about 3 meters long. And it's just breathtaking, because people are not used to see such big prints. And also what they are not used is, fit screen. What they are not used is to see the level of details, because not only it's going to be a big print, but if you put your nose in front of it, you know, you will really see the details, unlike anything you've seen before. So yeah, that's one of my favorite photo ever. And it's also one of my best memory ever. So I wanted to share with you guys. Now I'm not done. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go File, Close, and I'm going to save it. And I'm going to keep on retouching it in Lightroom, because I believe we can do it. Now that's going to take a little while, because this is a huge file. Oh, but I've got a fast computer. I have a MacBook Pro 15-inch, but you know, with the SSD disk, and it's with 8 gigabytes of memory, it works pretty fast. Okay, let's go to Lightroom. Let's see if it's there. Oh, it's already there in Lightroom. Look at this. If I press I, yeah, 12,776 pixels. That's a lot. That's a big file. Yeah, I just want to do, I just want to add a little here, a little ND filter. I just want to make this a bit darker, maybe a bit bigger. Yeah, something like that, to make like my own vignette. All right, a bit darker. Maybe here on the side, I want to make a little vignette. So I'm going to make this big and bring it down so it's more subtle. Do the same thing here. I make it big and I bring it back to make it a bit more subtle. Okay, so it, you know, puts more focus on the thing, on the island. And now I'm gonna take a brush and make it a bit bigger, and I just want to add a little bit of highlights. What's going on? Nothing is brushing. You know why? Because my flow is at 10. So let's put the flow around 80 and density around 80. That's, you have to check every time. And now it's going to work. I'm just painting with white. I just want to make, yeah, some, maybe just a little circle there. Just get a bit more light on the island, because, you know, the eyes, it gets drawn to the brightest part of the photo. And I want the brightest part of the photo to be the island. Yeah, that's about it. You know, I'm not going to do much on it, but show you what I did. That's to be, oops. Sorry. That's the, before the retouching in Lightroom. Okay, now it's lagging a bit because it's a huge file, and Lightroom is not used to have such a big files. And I just ask, let me just put this on hold for a sec. All right, so that's the after, that's the before. Not much. That's the after, that's the before. All I did was do a little vignette effect and add a bit of light on the island. But voila, that's the story behind one of my favorite photo ever. And I hope it inspired you, and I hope you learned something. Thank you very much, and let's get back to my room. Okay guys, I hope you like that tutorial and it gives you the feeling and the inspiration to go to the Mont Saint Michel in Bretagne. It's a lovely place. Okay, you still have 2 more days to get 30% on all my training. If you ever wanted to take some training, now's the time. And it also helps support this podcast and all the free stuff that I do. Thank you very much for that. And also, if you can take a minute to share this podcast to your friends or anybody you think would be interested in this type of photography, that'd be very nice. Thank you very much for all your support and all your nice mails. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.